Something very strange happened to me when I was around 5 or 6 years old. I was playing with my sister at a sand park in Paris. She was on top of this spider thing made of ropes, and I climbed up to join her. But then, out of nowhere, I started feeling really weird. I told my sister that something was wrong with me. I felt a strong pain in my heart, and then I fell off the spider. It was like I left my body. I don't remember a lot about what happened, but I do remember feeling like I was going very fast through a tunnel and seeing photos around me, and the craziest part was that I didn't feel any pain when I left my body. It was like I came back just as fast as I left. When I opened my eyes, I was freezing cold and had sand in my mouth. After that first time, it started happening to me more often. I told my mom that every time it happened, I thought I was dying, but she didn't believe me. She took me to a bunch of doctors, but they couldn't find anything wrong with me. Well, except for the last doctor. He said that I was passing out because of something called a vagus nerve. It's like 2 cables in my body were disconnecting, and that's why I would lose consciousness. I believed him and my mom because what did I know when I was only 12 years old? After that diagnosis, it happened to me again, but this time I remember it. I just know that I came back. As time went on, I started thinking that maybe all these trips I was taking were just in my imagination. Even though they felt so real to me, the memories of them started fading away. The only thing I could remember was that tunnel and all those pictures. I started feeling like my travels were just a dream, and I was stuck in this small world. It was like my imagination was trying to escape from reality. A few years later, when I was around 16, I went back to that place. It happened one night when I was hanging out with some friends, watching the movie Fight Club. I was sitting on the couch next to my boyfriend at the time. The movie was pretty intense, and during a fight scene, I started feeling really sick. I immediately asked my friends to pause the movie because I wasn't feeling well. Everything around me started getting blurry, and the sounds seemed far away. It felt like I was leaving my body and going back to that place. But I was scared because I remembered how much it hurt when I went there before. And sure enough, the same pain hit me. It felt like my heart was twisting inside my chest. It was the most intense physical pain I've ever felt, and it happens every time. I saw it as a price I had to pay to go back there. I always thought the pain was similar to a heart attack, but I'm not completely sure. After the pain subsided, everything changed. I left my body and didn't even look back at it because I didn't want to. I focused only on the tunnel and the light. I was pulled into that tunnel. I knew this place and everything about it. I didn't have any more questions, fears, or worries. I only felt relief and a peacefulness that filled me up. I wasn't scared of pain or anything else because I remembered this place. I was quickly zooming through the tunnel. Its walls were covered in pictures just like before. But this time, something strange happened. I saw myself in the photos, but I didn't recognize myself in all of them. One picture caught my attention. It showed me and some people sitting in a red convertible driving in the sunshine. We were all so happy, laughing together. Even though I didn't recognize myself or the others, I knew it was me. It made me wonder if these photos were memories from my past lives, stored in my soul. It's like the tunnel was the walls of my soul, and when I got there, I was in a pure spirit state. In the picture, I looked completely different from how I look now. That's why it affected me so much. It held an important memory. Everything in the tunnel happened so quickly, but somehow I had the chance to see all the photos if I wanted to. Time didn't exist there. It felt like time had never existed at all. It's hard to explain this idea of without time on Earth. I think only in a non-physical state can someone truly understand it. Finally, I reached the end of the tunnel. It was a completely white place filled with light. Nothing there was physical, just this huge, bright light. It seemed like it went on forever, with gentle waves of pink. The light wasn't too bright, but it was super pretty, and it was warm too. This place was all white and filled with love, sweetness, warmth, and peace. But the most amazing part was when 3 huge columns of light appeared in front of me. These light columns were like mysterious beings. I've never felt a love like this before. The love they have for me and the love I have for them is impossible to describe. No one on Earth knows me better than them, and I don't know anyone better than I know them. Even my sister, who I'm really close to, and even my mom, seem like strangers compared to these 3 beings. I know there are many more of them where I come from. They're like my family. I can't explain this love because it's something you can only feel, and it's way beyond what we understand as love on Earth. There's nothing we can compare it to. The love we have on Earth isn't really love. It's more like a way to teach us what love is. We mess it up, we put conditions on it, we hide it, and we change it thinking we know what love is. But love is everything. Love does everything, and we need to understand it. Love is so misunderstood, and Earth is like a big school that gives us a chance to learn about love. These three pure beings talked to me in a different language. They used my thoughts, but it was different from regular thoughts. They reminded me that I chose to come to Earth and that I had to go back. I already knew that being with them made everything make sense. They gave me so much love. I felt like I was home, and I really didn't want to leave. But I had to go back. That's just how it had to be. I remember laughing a lot with them. They understood me. They knew how hard it is to be on Earth, just like I knew before I came here. I felt so tiny compared to them. They were super tall, and I couldn't even see their whole bodies. It was like standing at the base of the tallest tree in the world, called Hyperion. Or it was like looking at a cloud that started from the ground and reached all the way up to the sky. I couldn't see their faces, hands, or legs. I don't even know if they had any. They were like beams of light, and love is also like light. That's what I know. They were like a beautiful, pure column of light. That's the only way I can explain them. Now I understand that where I met them was like an in-between place. It was like a mix of different worlds and maybe even different universes. But in this place, there was no wanting or being scared, and I didn't need anything. I had everything I needed. I was everything, and I didn't need anything else. I knew it, and I understood it. Everything was simple and in the right place. Everything was just pure and unconditional love. There were no rules, and I made all the decisions. Nobody told me what to do. These three amazing beings helped me go back to Earth. I have no idea how long I was there. It could have felt like a month, but was actually just a second, or maybe it felt like a year, but was only a day. It's impossible to say. So I decided to go back. I had to. I went through this tunnel and saw some pictures. I can't say if they were the same pictures, but they were there. After the tunnel, I ended up in the living room and I was on the ceiling. My physical body was lying on the couch and all my friends were around me. They were really worried and touching my body. When I came back to my body, it was super hard and painful. I felt pain not just in my body, but also deep inside my soul. It was like I was choking and feeling really uncomfortable and cold. It was like going from being in a huge lake of warm, clear water that made me feel loved and connected to everything, to suddenly being stuck in a small box under a dark, rainy sky. Every raindrop that touched me felt like ice freezing me up. I opened my eyes and saw my friends looking really worried and talking to me. They wanted me to answer them, but I didn't want to. I was mad at them, even though it wasn't their fault that I had to come back. But that feeling didn't last long. For the next hour, I felt super tired and could barely talk. It was like speaking was so hard and my tongue felt really heavy. I only asked one question. How long was I gone for? Paul said it was only 40 or 50 seconds, but it felt like I was gone for 10 whole years. These trips are the most amazing experiences of my life. Nothing else can compare to the intense feelings and emotions I have during those moments. I'm pretty sure I've been there many times before I got diagnosed, but I only have a few memories of those other trips. Coming back to Earth after being in a super advanced place is really hard. I don't think I've ever really fit in here. I just try my best to do what I came here for. Sometimes I tried to escape this reality by doing drugs and drinking alcohol. It made me feel really sad and like I didn't want to be alive anymore. But I would never actually hurt myself because I know life is important. I wasted so much time waiting for this life to be over. Being here is way tougher than I thought, and I feel so alone. I started writing a book 3 years ago, and I'm going to finish it. When I write, I feel like I'm traveling to different worlds and planets, places that I'm pretty sure I've been to before. Some people might say it's all just in my head, but to me, imagination is more than just a thought. It's real and powerful. It helps me remember things and go to places that only my unconscious mind can see. I haven't told my mom, sister, or friends about my near-death experience, NDE. It's only recently that I've wanted to talk about it and share it with someone, but it's really hard to find someone who will listen and understand. Only people who have had similar experiences can give us a little bit of an answer, like a tiny scent among billions of flowers. This story was shared by Sarah B. and happened first in 1992 and last in 2003.